Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
I'm so pretty. Ooh. I gotta go. Whew. That was a close one. Sat down and went, I think I have to poop. And I did. Just to let you know. All right, here we go.
I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, why you should look out for yellow cars in the UK, and who went to Mexico for rehab and ended up dying, and also hot showers may be very bad for you, and what stopped a would-be bank robber dead in his tracks. All this and much, much more we discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing okay? Are you surviving? As you can see here in the studio, I have kind of tightened up, straightened up a little bit, moved some stuff around. It's basically the same, just a little bit in different areas. So if you're watching this on the YouTube video, and don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching YouTube video, and you can see me in the studio. I'm freshly shaven. I got rid of my beard. I've got the 1990s rocker goatee going on. I wouldn't call it a rocker beard because now it's all gray and salt and pepper gray. And my mohawk has grown out, so my hair is a little long on top as well, and you can see that. Hi. And so this past weekend was Memorial Day weekend. I hope everyone had a good time. My wife was out doing all her horse stuff, which is fine. She needs to get out. She works, 60, 70-hour work weeks. And so when she has time to, decompress, she doesn't want to be around me. I make her stressed out, if anything. So I'm like, yeah, go do your horse thing. And we have a horse that's off the property. So she goes out and rides the horse and does her training lessons and does all the stuff. She had a clinic that she went to. She did very well. The horse did very well, and everyone did very well. She came home happy, bouncing up and down. Yay. And so she asked me in passing, what do you want to do this weekend? I said, well, you know what? Now that we've gotten here on our property here, we have a 3-car garage. And one of the bays of the car garage is a tool room. So now that my dad's living with us, I've kind of incorporated his tools in with my tools. So we've got a lot of duplicate stuff, but we have a lot more stuff. My dad had a lot more tools than I did. So I said, you know what? Now that we have the panel saw took up the front of the garage, or where the nose of the cars would be on that wall. Took the panel saw out, gave it to my neighbor. He's got a huge 42 by 42 work shed shop over there next door. I'm like, here, take this. I don't need it anymore. I said, the only thing is, if I need to cut a sheet of plywood, I need the keys to the to the tool room so I can go over there and cut a sheet of plywood. So I've got all this free room, which I didn't realize how much it was. It's like 4 foot by 20 some odd feet of free space now. So I'm like, you know what? Let's pull all this stuff out of the tool room. Let's go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever like that and buy 2, maybe 3, 4 by 8 sheets of pegboard. So we did that. And I said to my wife, so I'm going to reorganize the tool room. I said, would you like to help me? As soon as I said it, I'm thinking in my mind, she's like, no, I'm tired from, doing the horses and stuff. And, I just want to relax. It's Memorial Day weekend. I just want to, just relax, unwind, unplug my brain, and just watch my smut TV shows, like Bachelor and all those other things. She actually said, no, I'll help you. And I was like kind of taken aback by it. And I go, okay. She's like, what do you want me to do? I go, well, you know what? I really, really need, I've got one of those Husky toolboxes. It's on the rollers. I think it's a total of like 12 drawers. You got the small one on top of the big one. And I, keep all my little tools in there and all my nuts and drivers and socket wrenches and all that stuff in there. can you go through these and straighten them out so I can find everything now? You know, for the last 10 years, we just, grab a tool and then throw it into something willy-nilly, throw it in that drawer, throw it in that drawer. I tried to keep it organized. My wife said, yes, I will do that. I'm like, okay. So come back from Lowe's, and I've got the 4x8 sheets of pegboard. And I don't know if you guys have, if you've hung pegboard before, but you have to bring it off the wall. Now, the wall, we have a concrete footer for the garage, and blocks about maybe, two or three blocks up, and then it's stick building on top. It's the way they build in North Carolina. I guess it's cheaper that way. We don't have hurricanes like we do in Florida, which is where I'm from. So it's stick building. So, 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s, 2x10s, and then plywood and siding and all that stuff makes the garage. So you can drill, wood screws right into the wall. But you've got to bring the pegboard off of the wall, or the little hooks don't go in the wall, go into the pegboard. Now, I'm just talking, this is just 2 4x8 sheets of pegboard. That's all it is. You have to build some kind of box structure behind them, small, 1 inch away from the wall. So I had to rip some 2x4s down. When I say rip, for all of those people that don't know, I'm cutting with the grain, not against the grain. That's crosscut. Cutting with the grain. And I'm ripping down some 2x4s to create, a box structure that I can mount the plywood or the pegboard on, so it'll bring the pegboard away from the wall, a good inch, so I can get my hooks in there. You would have thought, and I asked my dad, I said, Dad, what are you doing? I said, well, we're going to rearrange the garage. We're going to hang some pegboard and stuff. I said, you're welcome to come out and hang out with us and help, get your ass out of your room and out on, move around, stretch your legs, be part of the family for a little bit. So he's like, all right. So I start, ripping down the ply or the 2x4s, and I'm mapping everything out. And then this is where it starts. And I don't take any medication for ADHD or anything like that. I don't take anything for to focus. I don't take anything for anxiety. I don't take anything. I have a couple bush lights, and that pretty much just kind of mellows me out. But something happened. Not that I snapped, not that I cracked or anything like that. I'm sitting there and I'm cutting down the wood. My wife's helping me cut them down. And I start setting them up on the board, and I'm starting mapping everything out. And my dad goes, well, what if you make sure you got to do this and that. And then I'm like going, okay, but I'm just hanging this on the wall. It's not really, well, the weight of the, I said, it's not a whole lot of weight on it. I'm going to put it every 2 feet. I'm put a furring strip on the wall every 2 feet, and then box it in on the, well, it's going to warp. It's going to, come off the wall. And I'm getting all this, and I'm getting bombarded. And my brain, because I didn't map anything out, I'm making this up in my head as I go, as far as building this thing. And I'm like going, okay, I know I need a furring strip on the wall. I know I need to secure it to the wall somehow. I know I need to put the pegboard on the wall, on the furring strip, to hold it all together. I know they need to be a certain distance apart because pegboard's kind of flimsy. I know, regular Bob Vila show here. But this is what happened in my brain. So my dad's saying, well, you should do this, and you should do that, and you should do this, and you should do that. And then my wife is listening to my dad and said, yeah, well, maybe you should do this. And maybe, and in my mind, I got everything mapped out in my mind. I know exactly how things are going to fall on the wall. I know exactly how the board's going to go up there. I know the steps that I need to take. So every time I heard the word, you should, my vision gets blurry. Not my physical vision, my mental vision gets blurry. I'm like going, well, why would I do that? Well, this and then, and I'm like going, no, stop. Well, if you don't do this, this could happen. And I'm like, I'm just hanging 2 pieces of pegboard, 2 4x8 sheets of pegboard up on the wall. That's all I'm doing. I'm not rebuilding. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not making this structure where I'm going to hang on it and do pull-ups or anything on it. I'm just hanging these things on the wall. I want to be able to put my hooks in them. I want to put my tools on it. And I know, not that I'm an idiot, I know the weight capacity of what a pegboard can handle. I'm not going to put, 16, 17 pound mallet hammers up on there. If I do, then I'm going to have to physically drill nails into the wall, or hammer nails in the wall. I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And not rely on the pegboard. I know these things. So the comments that they kept saying to me, both my wife and my dad, was like, well, that's not right. That's not going to hold. All this, not negative, just like, oh, it's not going to work. And in my mind, I'm like going, no. If you just wait, the finished product will be just fine. So there was a little bit of silence, because I kind of I stepped back and I put all my tools down, and I literally said, okay, all right, guys, what do you want me to do? Tell me what you want me to do. I only had the first furring strip up. No, it's your project. Oh, no, now it's my project. Now it's my project. I can do how I want it. But yet the peanut gallery's over here, not barking out instructions, but, just sitting there going, well, but what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? And I'm like going, what do you want me to do? Tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it. If you think of something totally different. And so I stopped, and my wife could see that I was getting kind of, heated, because, my dad's sitting on the side-by-side with his leg hanging off, like a foreman on a job site, like, well, I wouldn't have done it that way, but, whatever you want to do, fall off in a week or two. And my wife is, well, maybe you should listen to your dad. And I'm like going, look, stop. Stop altogether. Everybody, shut up. And I had to stop, take a deep breath. And I can tell when I'm getting, like, not spiraling, but I take these, like, little short breaths. Like, I start going, like, big breaths, because I'm trying to calm myself down. And I'm, big, breaths through my nose and out through my mouth. And I go, all right, guys, obviously you don't know exactly what I'm doing. So I sat there for, 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to put this piece of wood here, this piece of wood here. I'm going to box this in. I'm going to put this wood here and this wood. And then I need help holding the pegboard up and sticking it to the wall. That's all I need your help for. That's it. If I can get this pegboard up, then you guys can, I don't want to hold you back from anything. I know this is not the best scenario as far as wanting to hang out on Memorial Day weekend, but this is what I'm doing. And I offer for you guys to help. And I appreciate your help, but you're free to go after this. So I don't know if those are the exact same words that I said, but, you get the gist of it. And so it got a little quiet there for a little bit, and everyone was kind of, no, it looks good. And then when we were all done and got the pegboard up, I'm like, all right, Amy, my wife, start organizing the black rolly bin thing, the toolbox that I have. Dad, all I want you to do is in this section right here, next to I'm going to have a workbench here. Well, how big's a workbench? Doesn't matter. This is my workbench. I'm not telling you, because I don't want 50 million keynotes on how to build this thing. I said, Dad, and I took a pencil and I drew on the pegboard. All right, see this section right here? This is where I need anything that has a handle on it. Screwdriver, chisel, pliers, anything like that. This is the handle section. And he's got boxes and boxes of peg hooks that from his house and from Florida, and we brought them up here because I knew this was going to happen. I said, this is your area. Go in the tool room and grab anything with a handle and hang it up here. I said, now if you need more room, go ahead and make out more room. And he did. He did good. He got everything with a handle. Everything with a handle hung up in that one little section that I said, and which is fine. It looks good. And my wife, we were out there, I don't know, till 8. My dad left about 3:30, 4 o'clock. He's like, all right, I'm done. I'm going inside, make my dinner. And my wife and I were out in the garage until like, I think 8:30, 9 o'clock at night or something like that, separating everything. And it all looks good. It turned out great. And I'll post these pictures over on the Facebook page. And the way you find that Facebook page is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. You can see all our social contacts. You can see our Instagram, our Facebook page, our Twitter account. Who does Twitter anymore? Are they still around still? Come on, Elon, whatever your name is. And you can see all our TikTok videos and stuff that we do at the same time. All right, guys, stick around. We got a lot to talk about. Big show to get into. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want to be heard? Of course you do. Everyone wants to be heard, and we'd love to hear from you as well. And the way you can be part of the show, that's right, you could be podcast famous. The way you do that is to jump over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsor of Deacon Live Podcast. That's PROPHET radio.com. And at the bottom of the page says, be heard. It's got a little blue bar. It's got a microphone on it. Click on that on whatever device you're listening to us on. Speak right into it, and it comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. If you get it in soon enough, we'll play it on this podcast as well. Now, we have a library of over 8 years of shows. So if you're just listening to us in the past, present, not the future, that'd be awesome. Tell me what I said next week. But if you'd like to be, if you'd like to ask us anything or just give us a shout out or a correction or actually type deal, by all means, drop us a line and we'll play it on the very next podcast alongside of us here in the studio. Now, my mom was the assistant to the general manager of the Doubletree Hotel in Orlando, Florida, across from the Universal Studios. So if you've ever gone to Universal Studios, you take a left to get in there. If you look across the street, there's the two almost twin tower looking buildings there. That's my mom was the general manager or assistant to the general manager for that hotel. And she spent 30 years. It's changed names like 15 times. It was a Hilton. It was a Radisson. It was a Madison. It was some, I don't know, some other different things, but she's always been in the hotel business. Now, one of her bosses, because, you know, general managers and you know, faculty changes all the time. One of her general managers was an assistant, or what was he? He was a volunteer deputy sheriff, meaning like he would go out to like crowds and stuff like that if they needed like backup, like at a sporting event or a concert event or something like that. He had a full uniform on, he had a gun, he had everything, but he wasn't on payroll. And he actually had business cards with the Orange County deputy sheriff logo on it. And the reason why I tell you that is because his last name was mine and my mom's last name. No relationship whatsoever. So it's like his last name was Smith. My mom's last name was Smith. It just, you know, coincidence. But what my mom used to do, she used to show me this all the time. You know, a woman's got a purse and then she's got that big wallet inside that's got like all her credit cards and stuff and her driver's license. So she would open it up and she used to show me this. She'd show me her driver's license. And then the next spot over from the driver's license was his business card that said, you know, Deputy Tom Smith, you know, Deputy Sheriff of Orange County Police Department, blah, blah, blah. So she would put that in there and would walk around, you know, just in case she got pulled over by the cop. Now, she didn't get pulled over all the time, but just in case, you know, they would see her business or her driver's license and then see her boss's business card and thinking that they were related, you know, and she would hope to get like a free pass on a driving ticket or a speeding ticket or something like that. Now, in New York City, the officer cites that the courtesy cards that are being handed out used by friends and families of cops are a source of corruption. So I guess over in New York City, the NYPD are giving like their aunts and uncles and friends and neighbors courtesy cards. Now, these are they're not part of the community of, you know, police work or police. They don't give you like a stack of them, say, here, you know, like free tickets to a concert. Here, hand these out to all your friends. They're just like these laminated cards that says, you know, my friend is a police officer or something. I don't know what it actually says. Though they are not officially recognized by the NYPD, laminated cards have been treated as a perk of the job. The city's police union each issues them out to the members who circulate them among those who want to signal their NYPD connections, often to get out of minor infractions like speeding or failure to wear a seatbelt, and so on and so forth. In a federal lawsuit filed in Manhattan this week, Officer Matthew Bianchi described a practice of selective enforcement with consequences of officers who do not follow the unwritten policy. Current and retired officers now have to access hundreds now have access to hundreds of cards, giving them away in exchange for discounts on meals, home improvement jobs, and so on and so forth. The Staten Island Police Precinct, where he works, is prominently a white area and high percentage of cops in other city workers. Bianchi said, multitude of people he pulls over for traffic infractions flashes him one of these cards. I see a card after card after card. You're not allowed to write any of them up, quote unquote, he says. We're not supposed to be showing favoritism when we do stop cars, and we shouldn't be giving them out because the guy mows my lawn. Bianchi says he was reprimanded on numerous occasions for writing a tickets to a relative or a parent of an officer. In some cases, he commanded the officer would personally review the body cam footage to see if he was giving those cards out or giving those with the cards a hard time, the lawsuit states. So what he's doing, he's kind of correct. You know, these guys are just, hey, you got a stack of them. Police union. If your mailman's a great guy, you give him a card. Hey, friend of the force. All right. You give one out to your preacher, friend of the force. You give one out to your little cousin when he graduates high school, friend of the force. There you go. So he's right. You know, that's kind of corruption. It's not a get out of jail free card, but it's kind of like the, you know, hey, do you know who I am? Or do you know who my dad is? Or something like that. But yeah, so I agree with him, but I guess he's getting, yeah, he'll end up dead somewhere. The police, he'll end up with, what's the guy from the Teamsters? He'll end up dead somewhere like him. Now, this guy right here is thankful to be alive. In Woodland, California, police say a customer at a California bank convinced a would-be robber to walk away. He didn't use any weapon. He didn't use any physical restraint, just pure empathy. Michael Armis, Sr., found himself in the center of a bank robbery while making a deposit about 11 a.m. on Monday at the Bank of the West location in Woodland. He said, I believed I was meant to be there that day. The bank is one where Armis knows all the tellers, but instead of greeting him with usual smiles this time, he was met with looks of concern. So if you want to see this video, we got the whole story right here. If you'd like to see this video, jump on over to prophets.com, PROPHET radio. You can see all our social contacts, and for every podcast we do, we have a matching video, and you can see this on our YouTube channel as well. And I'm going to play it, and I'm going to switch cameras to camera 4 so we can all see it, and we can all be friends. So here we go.
Word spread fast.
It's kind of a shock.
About a Woodland man.
Guy's a hero. I wanted to shake his hand.
And his unforgettable trip to the bank.
And I would have been here yesterday. I was going to come at 11 o'clock.
Right, Charlie.
Here.
And I go, I'll just go tomorrow.
You missed the action.
Michael Armis found himself at the center of it while making a deposit here at the Bank of the West on Main Street, where he knows all the tellers.
Because I'm always joking around, and there wasn't no jokes yesterday.
Instead of smiles, this time he was met with looks of concern, and Armis noticed a man inside covering his face with his shirt.
I seen that the way he was talking, he was getting irritated. He said, I don't want to hurt anybody.
Woodland police say that man had passed a note to one of the tellers claiming he had a gun and was robbing the place, unbeknownst to Armis.
But the thing was, I seen something else. He seemed to be depressed the way he was talking. So I just approached him and I asked him, I said, what's wrong? I said, you don't have a job? He said, there's nothing in this town for me. Nothing in this town for me. I just want to go to prison.
Armis says he tried to comfort him and asked if they could step outside.
So I took him out.
He's got a shirt on. Armis has got a shirt on, black shirt on, sleeveless, and it says, love God, love people, impact lives. There you go. 3 little words you can live by.
And I gave the man a hug right here at the doors, and he started crying. And then I stepped away from him, and this swoop, here come all the cops. No sirens, just lights everywhere. Rifles out. Get on the ground.
Video from a viewer shows as police cleared out the bank.
The ladies were all worried. The one in there still was saying, no, not the one in the black shirt.
Armis is pretty casual about it all.
I believe that it was meant for me to be here that day.
police arrested 43-year-old Eduardo Plasencia for attempted robbery, and Armas says he's thinking of visiting him in jail.
You know, love overcomes all things. People don't realize that. Try to be kind to somebody. It makes a difference.
In Woodland, Lizzie Mitri, KCRA 3 News.
So there you go. He just, that's a bold and risky move because you don't know what condition, especially out there in, let me switch back to camera one, especially out there in California where they're dealing with so many issues with homelessness and drug addiction and just, the stuff that goes out on the streets. So he could have been completely insane. He didn't know. He probably didn't, what if he didn't know he was robbing a bank and he just wanted to take some people out? But the guy just said, I want to go to jail. There's nothing on the streets for me. And that's the sad part. But that's what's happening in California. That's what's being allowed to happen in California is what I should say. And the guy just, Armas reached out to him and said, hey, man, love your brother. You don't have to do this. And you see that in movies all the time. It always ends up bad. But he just said, hey, you don't have to do this. And actually in the story, he recognized the young man who got arrested as his a childhood friend of his daughter. So he kind of had somewhat of a relationship with him at the start. All right, guys, stick around. When we come back, I've been talking about these headsets. These headsets from GizmoLeague.com, and I've had them now for almost 30 days. I've got a good workout in them, and I'll give you my final review on these guys. And I still have some free ones, a handful of them left to send out to you. So stick around. We'll get into that here when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on social contacts. You can see all the places that you can find us. You can find our Facebook fan page over there. You can find our Instagram page. You can see all the pictures and stuff that I talk about here on the program. You can find those on Instagram, on Facebook. We do have a TikTok account. We also have a YouTube channel as well. Make sure you like and subscribe over there. I'm not in it to make any money on the YouTube channels or anything like that. I'm just there to give you guys another avenue to watch us or to enjoy the podcast that has been on the air for almost 8 years now. So make sure you go over there, Deacon Live Podcast over on YouTube as well. Now, here's what we've been talking about for the last 30 days. Now, Shane, who hosts the This Is 50 podcast, couldn't be with us today to give us his final outtakes as far as the headphones, because he's got a set too that I gave him. But so here we go. So as you guys know, GizmoLeague.com has been sponsoring Deacon Live for the last couple weeks now, and we appreciate them. They're great hosts. They've been very kind and courteous. I couldn't ask for a better sponsorship with them, but they do have, well, we'll get into that here in just one sec. So what they do is they manufacture these right here, and if you're watching me on the video, this is a sweatband type material. I mean, it's nice and stretchy, but it's also like a sleep mask. And you're like, well, what's so special about that? Well, inside on the sides here, you can see the little bubble right there on the video, on the camera. You have speakers built into the headset or built into the sweatband, workout band, yoga band, whatever you want to call it, and you wear it on your head. The sound is okay. So let me explain this. So this right here, when I put the headset on, hold on, take my headphones off. So when I put this on, I'm gonna mess up my hair. Oh, where's the front? There's the front. The speakers, they're close to my ears. They're not right on my ears. As far as noise canceling, they're not really noise canceling, but I got a big head, so this is really tight on my head. This is for a girl's head. But if you look, I've got these controls on the front where play, pause, Bluetooth, sync up. And so if you're running or jogging or something like that and you want to be somewhat aware of your surroundings, especially women out there jogging, you can hear around you, plus listen to whatever music you got going on. Now, if you want to make them a sleep mask, all you do is pull this down right here, and boom, you got a sleep mask. The only drawback that I have for these, well, there's two drawbacks. One, the speakers don't match up with my ears. They're a little bit too far forward on my ears. And this little box right here, when you pull the mask down, sits right on the bridge of my nose. And I don't know how you guys sleep. I know I look like an idiot here on the YouTube video. Do I? Oh yeah, I look like an idiot. This box right here sits on the bridge of your nose, and if you're a side sleeper or you bury your head in the pillow, that box right there pushes right on the bridge of my nose, and that's not good. So as far as it being a sleep mask, maybe if you've got no nose at all, but the actual construction of these are really good. Now Shane was having a problem he got the speakers out and tried to put them back in, because he wanted to wash this. He wore this when he was mowing the lawn, and he couldn't get the speakers back in. I don't know what's the status of that now. Like I said, he couldn't be on this week's show. Hold on, let me get my headphones on so I can make sure that I'm talking. Because if you can't hear yourself, you're not talking. So they're good on a scale of 1 to 10. As far as durability and stuff, they look pretty solid. As far as compatibility, yes, so they're Bluetooth, they'll hook up to anything. As far as convenience and comfortability, I'm gonna have to give them a 6. But that's me. I'm a guy that's got a big head. I'm a guy that's got a big head and a big nose. So if you are, I don't want to say not a guy, but if you're someone who has a smaller head than I do, maybe these are the things for you. They're nice. It's a great invention or a great idea. So I'm going to give them a 6 out of 10. Now, here's the thing that I was really, really impressed with are these AK6 headphones. Now, these sell for $19.99. And if you go over to gizmoleague.com, type in the word DeaconLive, all one word, and 10, you get 10% off of these and free shipping as well. And I know I'm trying not to do an infomercial here. These right here are great. I like these a lot. These are my new everyday headphones when I go to the store, go grocery shopping. I hate using Bluetooth because, I don't know, I just hate using Bluetooth when I'm out in public. You just look like a ding-dong, especially white people. White people look like ding-dongs if they have their Bluetooth in. And for some reason, black people look totally natural. Like if you see a white guy walking down the street and he's got his Bluetooth in and he's talking blah, 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 oh, blah, 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 blah. The first thing in my mind is asshole. This guy's an asshole or a jerk. You don't see too many women doing that, but the guy, if you see a white guy with a Bluetooth walking down the street, you think asshole. If he had these in, the wired ones, you go, okay, he's talking or singing or whatever like that. But if you see a black guy walking down the street with a Bluetooth, you're like, oh, look, he's getting shit done. He's okay. He's good to go. Well, for some reason, that's just when my mental brain pumps those decisions out. Now, these are the AK6s. Like I said, they're $20. 10% off if you put Deacon Live in the search bar when you go check out, or the promo code at the bottom. And that's gizmoleague.com. I like these headphones a lot. They got a lot of bass into them. They got a lot of treble. They sound really good with music. They sound really good. I've done a couple phone calls when I've been out in the supermarket. They sound really good. So I'm going to give these out of 10. I'm going to give these, for the price, I'm going to give these almost an 8.5. So there you go. Now, you say, well, I don't want to spend that kind of money and then be bad. What I'm going to do for you right now, all you listeners out there of Deacon Live, I've got a handful left. Now, this is only for people here in the United States. Sorry for everyone over there in Europe and stuff. I can't send these out to you. It's just not feasible for me to send these out. If you go to profitradio.com right now, profitradio.com, PROPHET radio.com, and where it says free swag, there's a whole bunch of sticker packs that we have out there. You can pick whatever sticker pack you want. And I will send these. I've got, hold on. Here it is right here. Here's the box that I have. This is what it comes in. It's got some anime writing on it or something like that. It's a nice, solid, hard case box. I'll send out what I have left, but you got to be first. You got to be first, and then I'll send these out until I can't send out anymore, or until I run out, one of the two. So there you go. But if you'd like to get yours, go to gizmoleague.com and 20 or 10% off. They're $20 for the AK6s, and you get 10% off by putting Deacon Live 10 in there. So there you go. Check them out. They're pretty good headsets. I like like I said, the AK6 is good. The headset or the headband, sweatband, not so much, but who am I to say? I got a big fat head. All right, guys, stick around. We got a lot more to get into, a lot more to talk about. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Of course you do. We'd love to give you something for free. And the way you get that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com, and click on the free swag section. And like I said before, if you want to get some of these free headsets, the AK6 earbuds that go in your ears, they're wired. They're great. I'll send out whatever I have left here in the studio to first come, first serve. So fill that form out there. It's not an email grab or anything like that. Pick out what sticker pack you want, and I'll send some of these out to you. As while supplies last, I guess that's what they say in the commercials. Now, are you a skiplagger? I know it sounds kind of, whoa, what'd you call me there, brother? Skiplagging. A frequent flyer who has been skiplagging for more than a decade says she does not feel guilty because airlines have a chokehold on the prices. Skiplagging, or hidden city ticketing, is a practice where travelers book flights with a layover in a city that they want to visit. They don't take off on the second flight to the supposed final destination. Sophia Partlow learned about the approach from an article she read, or probably listen to DeaconLive, because I think I talked about this about a year and a half ago, and now it's getting more prominent. She started using the flight booking website Skiplagging.com. She said she's been using it for many years now to save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on flights. Ultimately, I have no remorse or no angst, she says, using this hidden city tickets. I feel like because of the fact that airlines have a chokehold on prices, availability, and for as long as they have them, then more power to Skiplagging for giving some control back to the travelers. Parlow recently paid $71 for a flight to Savannah, Georgia. Hey, we just got back from there. From New York with a connection in Charlotte, North Carolina. Insiders have viewed the documentation showing how much she spent for the flight. Skiplagging has its risk, however. Airlines have attempted to crack down on it and have even canceled return journeys, taken miles away, and banned customers from future flights. So, can you do that? Why? Why would you do that? What if you wanted to go to, for example, we live here in Charlotte, and you coming from New York, and the flight from New York to Charlotte is like $300, but the flight from New York to Savannah via Charlotte is $71. Why wouldn't you take that? Why wouldn't you do that? And why would you punish them? What would happen if you got in the Charlotte? You know what? I really like it here. I'm not going to leave. I really like it here. Who's to say, why can't you change your mind? And then when your return flight shows up back in, from Savannah to Charlotte, your return flight jumps on that and you jump back to New York. I guess that's how it works. Parlow, who's still in Charlotte, said some airline staffs would compare your destinations with the address on your ID. If it matches with your connecting flight, hold on, dyslexia. If it matches with your connecting flight and not your final destination, you're going to get grilled whether you bought the ticket on Hidden City or not. If that happens, Parlow says she told customer agents that she was traveling to the final destination on her ticket if they were asked where she was heading. Hey, none of your business where I'm going. Who are you? Some Gestapo guy? So it's called skiplagging. Now you have to be careful because, you're really limited to, certain hubs. I know going out to my wife, she flies to New York all the time. For whatever reason, they have a layover in Baltimore. I know if you go out to Vegas, there's a layover in Phoenix. I know when you go other places, there's a layover in like Dallas or something. So it's not like these, if you want to go to like Miami, there's no like skiplagging there. And it's all these other major cities throughout the United States. So you're kind of limited on your layovers. As long as you want to be in that city, fine, by all means. But who wants to be in Phoenix? God, it's hot, nothing to do out there. Now, in West Sacramento, California, hundreds of goats munch along long blades of grass on the hillsides next to a sprawling townhouse complex. They were hired to clear the vegetation that could fuel wildfires as the temperature rises this summer. So what they're doing is they're hiring kids. When I say kids, I mean goats. I was watching something, I forget, was it the either Animal Planet or something like that, where the guy would rent out, he had like 100 goats, and there was all this like kudzu vines and stuff in an area, and he would rent them out, and he's like, yeah, they'll start here, and they'll munch down. It'll take them about a week to get all this vegetation down. So there are people out there that actually rent goats to destroy vegetation to make sure everything's safe. These vicarious omnivores are in high demand as they devour weeds, shrubs that have proliferated. There's a bunch of them across California, even after drought-busting winters, heavy rains, and snow. This huge fuel source of lower brush, if not tamed, can grow very high. And when the summer dries when the summer dries everything out, it's the perfect fuel for fire. That's why they do control burns. Targeted graze is part of California's strategy to reduce wildfires risk because goats can eat a wide variety of vegetation and graze in steep, rocky terrains that's hard to access. So you say, well, why don't they just do control burns? Well, you got a hillside that's like a 45-degree angle. You're not burning up there. You're not getting Jonathan up there to light a match and burn some control stuff. No, send the goat up there. Send Billy the goat up there. A new state law labor regulations are making it more expensive to provide goat grazing services, and herding companies say that the rules threaten to put them out of business. The changes could raise a monthly salary of herders from about $3,700 to $14,000, according to the California Farm Bureau. Companies typically put about one herd in charge of 400 goats. Companies typically put about one herder in charge of 400 goats. Many of the herders in California come from Peru and live with their employer-provided trailers next to grazing sites. Labor advocates say that the statewide investigate with the working and living condition of the goat herders before making changes to the law, especially since the state is funding goat grazing to reduce wildfire risk. So there you go. If you see a bunch of goats running around in California, well, they're out there grazing on the vegetation, trying to keep down the forest fires. It's scary, those forest fires out there. I mean, you've seen videos where cars are driving down the street, and it's like an apocalyptic movie. So hopefully they can come to terms and figure this out, as far as cooperation between the goat grazers and the state itself. Now, a woman in Kansas, who traveled to Mexico to receive treatment here we go. A woman from Kansas who traveled to Mexico to receive treatment at a drug rehabilitation center in the border city of Ciudad Juarez was murdered and dismembered, according to local authorities. Celia Castaneda, 35, was taken to a rehab center by her relatives after she returned from the United States. She had been living there for the last 10 years and developed an addiction to drugs and alcohol. During the first night at the Monarch Rehab Center, Castaneda allegedly had a violent episode because of her withdrawal symptoms and attacked both of the owners, identified as Diana Paulo and Claudia Ruby. Paloa and Ruby ended up beating Castaneda to death in retaliation and then tried to hide her dead body by cutting it into pieces. Oh, God, according to authorities. The gruesome details emerged during a recent court hearing where the judge read the police report describing the gruesome scene that unfolded at the property. On arrival, the police officers found a metallic trash can containing black and white pajamas and a woman's slipper stained with blood. As the officers proceeded further into the property, Paloa and Ruby allegedly attempted to flee, but were quickly apprehended, according to the police report. Authorities then found plastic buckets filled with human bones and flesh in the bathtub, along with plastic bags containing 6 large bones, 2 knee bones, according to the court hearing. After searching the kitchen, investigators found a blender containing human flesh. Margaritas, anyone? How about some salsa? The suspects had reportedly attempted to liquefy the victim's genitalia along with other soft body tissues and intestines to get rid of the body. During the hearing, the judge said that he would withheld from disclosing even more graphic details in order to preserve the dignity of the victim. For the sake of the victim, for the sake of not re-victimizing the victim, the judge says, for the sake of her dignity, I will not go on. The trial against the rehab center owners are still going on, but they could face life imprisonment if found guilty. Castaneda's murder is the latest in a wave of femicide, murdering of females in Mexico in recent years as part of a macabre trend across the country. So I guess she had a fit and they killed her. And that was the first thing they thought about was just, granted, protect yourself. That's one thing. But when you kill her, chop her up, put her in the blender, break out the fruit ninja, whatever it is, and let's shove her in there. God almighty. Can you imagine that? The guts, pardon the pun, the guts that it would have to take to do that to someone's body is just, it's amazing. I have a hard time, when I catch an animal in a trap out here on the property. I do a live trap, and I'm looking at him like going, sorry, bud, I gotta take you off the property. You're bothering the chickens and stuff. I just feel bad for that. I couldn't imagine what the mentality it would take to do that to another human being. All right, guys, stick around. A couple more segments, and we'll let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want to be heard? Well, we'd love to hear from you, and the way you can do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com, and at the very, very bottom of the page, right-hand side of the page, you'll see a little blue bar. It's got a little microphone. It says Be Heard. Click on that. Speak right into whatever device you're listening to us on or at, and it sends a message right here to our inbox, and your voice can be played right here on the air alongside of me. And like I said, you can be podcast famous right here in the studio. You can ask us whatever you want, tell us whatever you want. If you just want to say test 1 2, test 1 2, I'll play it. I'll play it right here on the show. And you can be anonymous as well. You don't have to tell me your name, or you can make up any name that you want. Just go over to prophetradio.com, click on Be Heard. And it's, like I said, it's just another avenue, another venue, another source that you can be part of the show of Deacon Live. Now, someone who wants to be part of the show, part of any show, are people that drink energy drinks. They want to stay up all night and they want to party down. Unfortunately, people are drinking poppers, mistaking them for energy drinks. Now, you ask yourself, all right, what are poppers? Are you talking about the jalapeno things with the cheese inside that are so good when you dip them in ranch or blue cheese? Blue cheese, please. No. Poppers are often sold in small bottles and marketed to things like air freshener, liquid incense, and room deodorizers. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has once again pleaded with Americans to stop chugging poppers. The health agency has revealed it's continuing to receive reports of people falling seriously ill and even dying after drinking poppers, mistaking them for energy drinks. Poppers are funky smelling liquids that typically contain amyl nitrate, a chemical that dilates blood vessels when inhaled, often used as a recreational drug. By sniffing the fumes emitted by the liquid, people experience a lightheaded high that is often used to enhance their sexual experience. As potential vascular muscular relaxationists, the drug makes it easier to receive. Oh God, hold on, I gotta read that sentence again. As a potential vascular dilator and muscle relaxant, the drug makes it easier to receive anal sex. You heard me right. The FDA has stressed that it it is against customers inhaling these products as they haven't been officially evaluated for safe use. However, it is also warned that people accidentally drinking these liquids, because the bottles are similar to the shot of energy beverages commonly sold at gas stations and convenience stores. A single mistake can be fatal, the FDA tweeted. We continue to receive reports of people dying and being severely injured after consuming poppers that resemble and often mistaken for popular energy drink shots like the 5-hour energy drinks or Super Rush. Drinking and inhaling poppers seriously jeopardizes your health. So there you go. If you're, if you're going to do that, make sure that you read the label of what you're actually doing. Because do you need the 5-hour energy drink to perform the other task? If you're gonna, if it's a party night, let's make it a party. Let's snort some poppers and take some energy shots, and let's do anal, I guess. Each to his own. Now, some people out there enjoy a nice hot shower. Now, before I moved up here to North Carolina, I am from Orlando, Florida, born and raised. I hated hot showers. Hot showers because in Florida, you're just like going, I don't want to be hot in the shower too. Some people love a nice hot shower. But since I've moved up here to North Carolina, you get a nice cold winter. It's nice to have a good hot shower. A shower should feel relaxing and refreshing. And sometimes it can be anything but that. If you get hit with a wave of dizziness and nausea, turns out this phenomenon isn't as weird or worrisome as you might think. Spending a long time standing in a warm, humid shower can sometimes leave people feeling weak in the knees. A closer look at why you would get dizzy and nauseous in a shower. Here's a closer look at why you would get dizzy or nauseous in the shower and what you can do to manage this sensation next time it hits. First of all, call 911 and go to the nearest emergency room if dizziness and nausea is accompanied by any of the following symptoms: weakness on one side of the body, trouble with speech, which is what I have all the time, fainting, chest pains, shortness of breath, blurry vision, confusion, disorientation, or seizures. So this is what happens. Standing in a hot, steamy shower causes your temperature to rise. In response, your body works to keep the temperature regulated, causing your blood vessels to dilate and your heart rate to slow down. This can cause your blood pressure to drop, which might leave you feeling dizzy or lightheaded. Also, standing for long stretches, particularly in warm temperatures, can trigger vasovagal. I'm messing that up. Vasovagal syncope, a harmless reaction marked by a sudden drop in the heart rate and blood pressure that can occur when the body is stressed. Long periods of standing causes blood to pool in your legs and feet, which temporarily reduces blood flow to your brain. This could make you nauseous, dizzy, or lightheaded, or cause you to experience blurred or tunneled vision. Low blood sugars. When the level of your sugar and glucose in your blood drops below a healthy range, it can happen anywhere, not just in the shower. In addition to feeling weak and dizzy, you might notice that you feel sweaty or clammy, shaking, and that your heart is racing. People with diabetes, both type 1 and 2, are more likely to experience low blood sugar symptoms when their blood glucose levels drops below 7 milligrams. The problem can affect anyone, especially if you've gone several hours without eating. In some cases, low blood sugar can also happen a few hours after eating a meal. Consistent mostly with redefined carbohydrates, such as white pasta and bread and stuff, which can cause your blood sugars to spike quickly and then fall. Occasionally, when feeling dizzy and nauseous in the shower, it probably isn't cause for concern, but dizziness and lightheadedness can have a number of possibilities that you shouldn't ignore if the symptoms are severe. So be careful. Pay attention to what's going on in the shower. If you feel lightheaded and stuff, you get a nice hot shower going and you're like going, whoa, man, I feel like I'm going to pass out. you might want to go see someone. So be careful out there taking showers, and you don't want to end up, in a bad situation, especially if you take showers or living alone by yourself. So take care of yourself. All right, guys, stick around. We got one more little segment. We'll let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you find us is to go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. And you can see a little drop-down menu says social contacts. You can see all the links that links us to you and you to us as well. And while you're over there, get yourself something for free. For a limited time, I'm going to send out a free set of headphones. For those of you who sign up for that, you can pick out whatever sticker package you want. Make sure you put a return address in there, or you ain't getting shit. And believe me, it's not like an email grab. This is something that we just like to say thanks for being part of the show and all that. Now, you ever been driving down the highway and you see like a tow truck, one of those flatbed trucks, and they got the thing pulled down, they got everything slid up and they're getting ready to drag a car up on top of it. And you always go, well, I wonder if someone could jump that as a ramp. Well, this video right here shows that this could possibly actually really happen. And the way you see this video is go over to prophetradio.com and click on the YouTube channel. And for every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see me in the studio. My brand new shave look. I got rid of the beard. I got the 90s goatee going on. My mohawk's growing out a little bit, so trying to take care of that at the same time. And also, we kind of switched it up here in the studio, so you can see all that over at the YouTube channel as well. Make sure you like and subscribe over there. I'm not doing it for any monies or anything like that. Just another venue for you guys to be part of the show. Now, here's the video. Let me go over to camera 4 so you guys can see this as we're talking about it here. We've all seen it before in the movies, on TV shows so many times, but it barely registers anymore. The good guy being chased by the bad guys after some brilliant driving or riding by the good guys, and one of the bad guys ends up driving over a flatbed truck, launching the car into the air. It's so common that it's a cliche at this point, but it doesn't happen in real life, right? Well, over in Atlanta, police body cam footage has of a wreck that took place a while ago, and they're just starting to clean it up, and this actually happens. While the officers were conducting arrests on the side of the road, a driver presumably wasn't paying attention and managed to hit the flatbed tow truck at full speed, launching it into the air. According to the Georgia State Police Patrol, the car flew about 120 feet through the air, yee-haw, before landing and hitting another car in the back. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine that? Now, we just came back through Georgia on our trip to Savannah. Oh, man, that would totally suck. It would just totally suck. That's all I have to say. Somehow, the driver actually survived the crash, although they were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The police department said they also hit the sheriff's officers were also hit with some flying debris, were taken to the hospital as well. No injuries have been reported. Hopefully, everyone will recover as well. So, not clear what model of the car was involved in the crash, but the fact that the driver survived is a clear testament of the safety advances in the modern cars that we have today. Now, if you want to see this video, I'm going to blow this up real nice and big so we can all see it and we can all be friends. Hold on. Don't get ahead of yourself there, Charlie. Let me switch to camera 4 so we can see it. So here we go. Turn this up because there's audio too. So here's the thing. Let me close this out. Here's the thing. So the flatbed truck is literally on the road. It's a 2-lane highway with a big old median in the center. So 2 lanes going north, 2 lanes going south. And it looks like they're towing or getting ready to tow a vehicle. Now, the vehicle is nowhere in sight, but this flatbed tow truck has literally got his flatbed down in the ramp formation and in the middle of the road. In one of the lanes of the road, I should say. So here we go. Let's watch the video and see what happens. This is the cop cam footage. He's walking. You can see that the tow truck, flatbed. Oh, watch out. Woo! God damn! I'll show it one more time. Shoo! he was riding side by side by another car and actually flew and hit the car that he was riding next to. I'll play it one more time for you. So here you go. I know it's a little loud. Sorry. Side by side. 2 cars side by side. Not paying attention? And the tow truck driver was walking in front of the tow truck and literally the car jumped right over his head. It's like right out of a movie. Jesus Christ, watch out. All right, eyes on me. Now, what does it mean when you say, what does yellow card mean on TikTok? Now, over here in the United States, we have something a little bit different. Let me get into the story, and you guys tell me what you call the same thing over here in the United States that they're dealing with over in the UK. So the article starts out with, it seems like the rest of the world has been left rather baffled by the classic British yellow card game after it goes viral on TikTok. No, we're not baffled. We just call it a different thing here in the United States. If you didn't grow up in the UK, chances are you think nothing of it when you see a yellow car drive by you. But for Brits who did see a yellow car, meant that you were often sometimes given a beating or receiving a beating from someone. Now, the game is typically played on long car journeys between young people, and if you're the first one to spot a yellow car, you have to shout, "Yellow car!" And then you're allowed to hit someone else that's near you that's playing the game at the same time. A punch in the arm is not intended to hurt the other person. It's just a fun way to pass the time and keep you on your toes while you're playing it. Now, the rules of the game are that only yellow cars are allowed. So any vans, buses, spotted do not count. If you receive a hit, you're also not allowed to hit back, like no backsies rule. So in order to hit your partner back, you must be the first person to spot a yellow car and call it out. The origins of the game are unknown, but people in their 20s and 30s and beyond are certainly remembered of the game from their childhood. Now, here's what we call it here in the United States. There are several different names, and one of the names that we used to play, it was called Punch Buggy. And Punch Buggy here in the United States was if you saw a Volkswagen Beetle. And, growing up at my time, I think the last Volkswagen Beetle, the classic Beetle shape, was in 86, 85, somewhere around there. And then they came out with the new Beetle, which it doesn't make sense anymore to play that game. Or they called it Slug Bug. Now, I went on vacation and my parents met another family, and we kind of like a couple days did a family, our family and their family went on like a road trip to somewhere. I don't know the details of it. I just know that we met this weird family, and they used to play something called Beaver. And Beaver, same thing, but there's no violence. So Beaver, if you saw a Volkswagen Beetle, you say Beaver, but you have to say the name of the color. So, for example, if you pulled up next to a blue Volkswagen Beetle, you'd say Beaver Blue, and you would get 1 point. If you got a red one, that was 3 points. Beaver Red, because those are rare. But if you got a Beaver Convertible, it was 3 points if it was a normal color and 5 points if it was a red convertible. Now, you would go broke playing that game today because most of these Volkswagen Beetles, because of emissions tests and all that, aren't on the road or just they're not around anymore. But that was a game that we played called Beaver. Some people call Punch Buggy, Slug Bug, all that stuff. It's the same thing. So over in Europe, they're beating kids up over yellow cars. No, they're not. It's just a game that you play when you're on long road trips. Now, something else that's weird to people that might take off is a weird hack for using banana peels. Now, I know there's a couple songs out there, I think by the Dead Milkmen, smoking banana peels. Everyone said if you smoked banana peels, you got high. Never done it. I don't know if it's still true. If it is true, let us know. Go over to ProfitRadio.com. On the bottom of the page says Be Heard. Let us know if you got high smoking banana peels. Now, if you're one of those people looking to enjoy looking your best in good company, researchers of high-quality products can be pricey as well. So from facial creams to teeth whiteners, but there's a natural alternative for some of these products. A TikTok. Oh, let me pause. Sorry, dear. Hold on. Not ready for you yet. A TikTok creator, Melanie Ann Ford, 18, shared a weird but helpful hack by using a banana peel. Banana peels are usually tossed in the trash, or used for physical. I got it. Tossed in the trash or used for physical comedy. Most of the time, we don't even see them as being useful, anything but protecting the banana fruit inside. But after viewing today's video, our minds are blown. We didn't know that banana peels could lighten your teeth. Yet now we have witnessed someone using it, and we have to try it out for ourselves now. Now, we advise you to try this. Don't try this if you're allergic to bananas or you have allergies. Well, duh. For those of you who love bananas, this could be an alternative to whitening strips or whitening devices. So here we go. I'm going to switch over to camera 4. Got to remember to switch it back so we can all be friends again. So here we go. Here's this young lady. She's putting it on her teeth, and she actually shows like the before and after. So here we go.
That if you take a banana peel and rub it on your teeth, it will whiten them. Well, let's take a look at my before.
All right, so here she is. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. Here she is before.
There's a place downtown where the freaks all come around. It's a hole in the wall.
She's rubbing the backside. Hold on. She's rubbing the backside of the banana. Now, the banana that she's had in her hands it's like the brown one, the one that you make Nilla pudding with. You know, she's used that banana, and she's using the skin off it. Ooh, I don't know how that would be.
I'm going to give it 30 more seconds.
She's rubbing it in between all her teeth.
Banana works for.
Now she's got the whole banana skin in her teeth like a mouthpiece, like a hockey mouthpiece.
Let's brush it off.
Now she's scrubbing her teeth.
After. Hey, I think it did. What do you guys think?
Here, I'll play it again.
This just in. Somebody told me that if you take a banana peel and rub it on your teeth, it will whiten them. Well, let's take a look at my before. There's a place downtown where the freaks all come around. It's a hole in the wall. It's a dirty free-for-all. I'm going to give it 30 more seconds. Banana works first. Let's brush it off. After.
Yeah.
Hey, I think it did.
Yeah. I mean, her teeth weren't bad, but they might have had like a mild coffee stain, but I would consider them white. And then with that banana peel on, they did look good. They look good to me. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Now, if you want to try it and you want to send us your video, the way you send those videos to us is go over to profitradio.com. You can email me at any time, deacon@profitradio.com. Send us your video. Send us any pictures you'd like for us to share here on the podcast. We'll put them up on the screen here, and everyone can see it. We can all be one big happy Deacon Live family. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. Make sure you go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. Get yourself some free swag, and for a limited time, as supplies last, you'll get a free set of these AK6 headphones from GizmoLeague.com. All right, guys, my name is the Deacon saying good night and good night.
Wait, come back.
See you later. I always do something weird and I don't know what to do.
Écoute-moi.
All right, guys. See you. Take care.